Do you want to know how machine learning can solve a business problem? Hello, my name is Sumesh Shukla, and in this particular video, we are going to understand how machine learning can be useful in solving a business problem. But before we start this video, don't forget to check out Scalar's free masterclass on Scalar's event page by leading industry experts. The link is in the description box. Today we are going to take a business use case, we will understand the business problem, and then we will understand how machine learning can solve that problem. But before we start this video, don't forget to subscribe to our Scalers YouTube channel. Let's get started. Now here we have to assume that there is a company, and I'll call this company as, let's say, Cred B. So CRED, Cred, and PEEB. Now what is the business model of this company? This company basically tries to acquire customer by providing them free consultation, free financial consultation, or maybe you can say free tax computation. So free financial and tax consultation. Now, once they have acquired the detail of a one particular customer, then they will use that detail to sell another product to that customer. So for example, let's say I am a customer and I want free consultation regarding my tax from this company. So I will reach out to this company by providing my detail to them, and then since they have all my detail now, they will be able to sell me the best product that suits me. For example, the best credit card, or maybe the best loan, or maybe I am willing to buy a car. So they can suggest me that you can buy a car from us, and we will provide you the loan against it. So this company has this kind of business model. But how they get customers? For any company, customer acquisition happens by marketing their product. So there is a marketing pipeline, there is a sales pipeline through which customer acquisition happens. Let's assume that this company is acquiring customers by marketing their product on various social media platforms. So let's understand the pipeline now. Assume that here we have a marketing page. So there are various social media platforms which are known as the marketing channels. Marketing channels. As of now, we have only, let's focus only on one such channel, which is Facebook. So assume that this is your browser, your laptop's browser, and you are browsing the Facebook website. So here we have fb.com, and what happened? You found out one particular advertisement regarding this particular company, Cred B ad. Now since you were very much interested in this particular product, what you did, you clicked on this advertisement. So I will, or maybe any customer who is interested will click on this advertisement. So click will happen. Now once a customer is clicking on this advertisement, the customer will be redirected to a page or maybe a form. So let's create an online form. So here we have form. Now this form will have variety of questions. Let's say here this particular company would be asking the customer regarding the personal details, like what is your name, what is your age, financial details like how many credit cards you are having, maybe how many bank accounts you are having,
or maybe what is your current salary, what is your job occupation, or maybe what is your education level. So there will be a good number of information that this particular company would try to capture. But there can be two scenarios. I might be interested in providing all the details, or I might not provide all the details. So in any way, the customer or maybe the company is able to acquire this customer. Now there can be two scenarios. A particular customer might be interested in providing his or her all the details, or it might also happen that the customer is not interested in providing all the details. The customer might provide with few details like his or her phone number, his or her date of birth, or maybe his or her current salary, or maybe the number of credit cards he or she holds right now. But in any way, this particular company will be able to get some sort of information regarding this customer. So we have captured the initial information regarding the customer. So let me write it down. Initial information captured. Now here what can happen, for some of the customers I will have the complete information, for some of the customers I will have limited information. Now what will happen? This information, so once a customer clicks on the submit button, so upon submit, this information will be captured in a database. So let's write it down. Database. Now what the company will do, a particular agent or a customer representative from the credit B company, so here let's write down credit B sales team, and we are calling it as sales team, but it is basically the customer representative, or maybe the person who will help the particular customer with the tax consultation or the financial consultation. So this particular team, or maybe one of the person from the sales team, will use the information that is present in the database and will try to call that customer or reach out to that customer. So let me create an arrow over here. Using the information to reach out the customer. So here we are calling the customer. Now here two things can again happen. If the customer is really interested, the customer can provide more additional details. So upon call, once the sales team member or the customer representative has called a particular customer, in that case, if the customer is interested, so let me put it in a box. If interested, the customer can provide more additional detail. So more additional details provided. And what the sales team member will do, the sales team member will update those details back to the same database. So against a particular customer, let's say customer ID is 123, those informations which were not available, now once a sales team representative has called that customer, the particular customer representative will try to fetch out all these missing informations, and a particular sales representative will update the particular information in the database or back to the database. If the customer is not interested, so let's say not interested, then we will not be having any information. No additional information. Now, what is the end goal of this particular company? Based on this information that the company is having, the particular company will try to now sell a new product to this particular customer. So again, based on this information that the company is having in the database, they will try to cross sell a new product. Now, if the particular customer purchases that product or maybe opt for that particular product, it is, let's say, a success. Otherwise, it is a failure for the company. So success is represented as 1, failure is represented as 0. Now, please remember that this company will be able to earn something only and only if the customer purchases something from the company. Either it can be a new credit card, or it can be some loan, or it can be some insurance. So it can be anything, but the customer needs to purchase or opt for something new. Then only this company will earn something. So I hope now you guys are able to understand the business or maybe the pipeline of how this particular company is making money. But where is the problem? Let's try to understand the problem right now. Now, on a particular day, let's say I'm talking about a particular day, if the sales team, so if the company is able to obtain the details of, let's say, 100 customers. I'm just taking a very hypothetical number right now, but this number is actually 1 lakh, 2 lakh, or maybe more than that. So let's say the company is able to obtain or acquire the information regarding 100 customers. Now, as of now, the sales team has to call all the customers. So here we have sales team. And as of now, the sales team is calling all customers. The reason the sales team is calling all the customers is because they do not know as of now which customer is going to buy the product or which customer is not going to buy the product, or which customer is actually interested or which customer is just has filled the form just for inquiry purpose. So there is no differentiation or maybe segregation between which customer is my actual customer or actually interested customer and which customer is a general customer not so interested. Now that is the problem. The sales team is putting a lot of time, lot of efforts and low conversion. So out of 100 customers, when the sales team is calling to all 100 customers, let's say they are able to get success. When I say success, that means they are able to cross sell to, let's say, only 30 of them. So right now, the conversion rate is 30 divided by 100, which is only 30%. Now, to obtain this 30% mark, the sales team is putting a lot of time, lot of efforts, and they need a very high number of people to call these many customers. So the team size is also very huge. So lot of time, lot of efforts and lot of money is also invested, because if I want to run this huge sales team, I have to offer them a salary also, right? So a lot of cost investment. Now these are the problems. Problem 1, problem 2, problem 3, and definitely low conversion rate. Low conversion rate. What is the solution? Now let's understand how machine learning can solve this problem. There is a particular machine learning algorithm which is known as the classification algorithm. Let me quickly help you understand what is classification algorithm. A particular classification algorithm. Now those of you who already know what is classification algorithm can skip this part of the video, can directly jump to the solution part. But those of you who are listening to this term for the very first time, please focus and try to understand what is classification means. Let's say if I'm having a data which is x1, x2. Now let me not use x1, x2 because you guys are listening to these terms for very first time. So let's use some actual column names. Let's say this is my age, this is salary, and this is number of credit cards. Now based on this information, this is my customer 1, customer 2, customer 3, and so on. Based on this information, whether the customer has opted for a insurance product, so yes, no, yes, yes, no, and so on. Now this is what my historical data is. Historical data means the data which we have generated by calling to all the old customers, all the previous customers which we acquired. Now here, these columns are known as my maybe the predictive variables. I'm using a very general term right now, predictive variables, because these variables are going to help you predict whether a customer will buy the product or not. And this is my target variable. This is what I'm trying to predict. Now, as of now, since this particular target column is having two categories, yes and no, this particular task is known as binary classification. So the algorithm, the particular algorithm that will help us to perform this classification, the particular algorithm that can take this data as input, algorithm, and can return us a machine learning model which is capable of performing classification. So if I provide this machine learning model with the data of a new customer, let's say I'm having a new customer whose age is 27, salary is 50,000 per month, and number of credit card is 1. So if I provide this information to this machine learning model, this machine learning model should be able to now predict whether this customer will purchase the insurance product, yes or no. Now that is what the classification algorithm is. Now this is what the solution will be trying to apply over here. So let me just opt for a new sheet, and here we will discuss the solution. So now, if I am able to acquire the details of 100 new customers on one particular day, now what we will do, instead of directly the sales team calling all these 100 customers, I will provide this detail to my machine learning model, which I have trained on my historical data. Now this machine learning model will return me the probability Please remember one thing, there are multiple kinds of classification algorithm. One such classification algorithm returns you the probability. What is the probability that given this information, a particular data point or maybe this particular person will opt for the insurance product. So let's say this machine learning model can return me the probability of 58%, which basically means there are 58% chances that given this input, the customer is going to buy the product. So there are only 58% chances. So I will use the particular machine learning algorithm which is going to return me probability, and the name of the algorithm is logistic regression. So my output would look something like this. So this is my customer ID and this is probability, and this probability has been generated using the machine learning model. Now let's say this is customer ID number 1, 2, 3, 4, and here we have probability. Let's say 68%, 79%, 95%, 23%, and so on and so on. Now, to whom the sales team will be very much interested to call? If you are the sales team member, you will only try to call those customers who are having high probability to purchase the product, right? That is what generally we do. So that is what my sales team will also opt for. They will now create a filter based on their business rule or based on the logical rule. So let's create a filter. If the probability is greater than, let's say, 70%, then I'll call, else I'll ignore. Now this is the filter that we have created, and this is the filter that the sales team will now use. So let's say out of these 100 customers, only let's say 60 customers. Now this is a very hypothetical number. It might happen or it might not happen also, but let's say out of 100, 60 customers were having 70% probability that they will purchase the product. Now the sales team member will, or the sales team will now first call to these 60 customers. Out of, let's say, these 60 customers, 30 of them converted. So 30 converted. Now what is the conversion ratio or conversion rate? That is now 30 divided by 60 into 100. That is 50% now. So you can see that when we were not having the classification machine learning model, the conversion rate was 30% and we were calling to all 100 customers. But now we were able to improve the conversion rate, plus we are only calling to 60 customers, or the sales team is only calling to 60 customers. Now this is what the advantage of a particular machine learning model or machine learning is. This is how machine learning can help you in improving your business performance. Also, it can save a lot of money to a particular business. Now here we can see that once this CredB company has this machine learning model in place, they do not have to hire so many sales team members. And with the limited sales team, they can still achieve a very good conversion rate. That's how machines can help you, or machine learning techniques can help you. One thing that additionally I want to talk about is what are the kind of variables or maybe what are the kind of information this company was trying to collect. Now this will help you to explain this particular project to anyone. Please remember one thing, if you are trying to explain a particular project to someone or maybe in an interview also, please follow a structure. Let me help you with the structure. A structure to explain a ML project. Number one, start with the business. Explain industry or business to the person. Now please remember this thing. If you are explaining your project to me, I might not be knowing about your company, or I might be not knowing about the business on which you have completed your project. So it is first of all very important to help the person understand the industry and the business. For example, in this particular example, or maybe the sales pipeline, I first of all explained you how this company is making money. So you are clear about the business. The next thing is problem. What is the problem? Problem statement. So explain the problem, why the company needs a machine learning solution. The third thing is talk about the data with which you are working on. Data and features. Now you don't need to explain all the features. What you should do, you need to explain the person with the categories of the features. For example, in this particular case, the particular categories of features with which we were working on can be divided into four major categories. Number one is the personal information, and this will consist of features like name, mobile number, age, date of birth, and so on. The second category of features that we were working on in this particular project was demographic. So demographic details means what is the city of the customer, maybe what is the tire, that is whether it is tire 1, tire 2, tire 3, and various other details. The third category was expenditure. Expenditure details. Now expenditure details are, for example, the number of cars the particular customer is having, number of bikes, or maybe number of houses. So where the customer is spending, expenditure. Then the final set of columns or features that we were working on was financial details. Now here we were having details like salary and the number of bank accounts, the number of credit cards, and maybe there can be multiple such columns. Now when you are explaining your project to someone, try to not talk about the column names but the column category, so that the particular person can create an imaginary picture about how the data would look like. Then the next thing is talk about how you approach the problem. And while you were approaching the problem, were you able to find out some interesting insights? The last thing comes that is very important is the performance. Like the machine learning algorithm that you opted for, what was the performance of that machine learning model? Whether it was performing as expectation or not, whether that machine learning model was able to solve the problem or not, and so on. And then you conclude. So please remember, if you're explaining your project in such a way, the very first advantage is that the person will be able to understand that you have solved the project with 100% dedication. Also, the other person will be able to understand your thought process, your logical approach. Because please remember, data science is not all about just learning Python, SQL, or maybe some algorithms. It is more about logically thinking, how you think and how you approach something, how structured you are. So following a structure while explaining your project is also very important.
I hope now you understand how machine learning can solve a business problem. So that was all about this particular video. Before we end this video, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our Scalers YouTube channel. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, keep learning.